Looking back for a week, as we've always done, I can't look back as far as UAB because I can't remember that far. But looking back into the open date and kind of what we tried to get done last week, I thought it was a really productive week for us, and that we felt like we had a lot of guys playing 10 out of 11 straight weeks, that we had a lot of bumps and bruises and some guys that needed to get healthy. We spent a lot of time in the weight room trying to get our bodies back, a lot of time in the classroom watching film, and then some time on the field trying to polish some things up. But we also had to finish out the quarter, which ended last Thursday. And so it was a productive week for us last week. I thought a very good week. We did some things with them on Friday morning, gave them off on Saturday, and brought them back on Sunday, getting ready for this week with ODU. When you look at ODU, I think Bobby Wilder, the coach there, has done an excellent job. A lot of history with him. He was at Maine with Coach Cosgrove for all those years. When I was at Connecticut, we used to spend some of the greatest games that we had were Maine and Connecticut, some great battles and some great rivalries, and he was the quarterback coach on that staff and did a great job. And so I've known Coach Wilder for a long time. I think he's an excellent football coach. He's very knowledgeable. He's passionate. He's emotional. And I think his team has really followed his lead. What they've done, going from really a startup program in 2007, playing their first game in 2009, and where they are right now as a program, for them to come into Conference USA, and in their first win, they beat Rice, who was the defending champion, on the road. I just think he's done a great job with this football team, and it's going to be a heck of a challenge for us. When you look at them, it starts with where they are on offense. I think they're the number 2 scoring offense in the league. I'm sorry, number 4 scoring offense in the league. They're putting up about 36 points a game. When you look at them, it starts with their quarterback, Taylor Heineke. Probably, I think he may be one of the better quarterbacks that we've played against, if not the best. I don't think he runs like the quarterback at Auburn, but yet when you look at the way that he manages the game and what he does in this system, he's definitely the one that makes the wheels on the bus go round. He's got an awful lot of poise. He's tough. He's very intelligent. When you look at him, he's probably thrown for 14,000 yards, or I mean, he's got video game numbers when you look at his career and what he's done and the success that he's had. And I think a lot of that is the tutoring of Coach Wilder, and also him is a real testament to him and how hard he's worked to be there. But I think he's done a great job, and they're scoring an awful lot of points. And they go play NC State on the road. They're up 21 points early in that game. They come back, they beat Rice, and then even in a lot of these games that they've lost, once they got into the conference, you look at them, they're still putting up a lot of points. That's one of the things they're doing. I think it starts, as I said, with their quarterback. They've got a really good running back, 2 really good running backs. The freshman, number 33, is really coming on and doing some good things for him, averaging I want to say about 7 or 8 yards a carry. Really been impressive, running the inside zone up inside. They've got Vaughn, their running back, their wide receiver, is leading the league in yards per games and receptions. They've got a very strong passing attack, and they do a really nice job with it, and they can put up a lot of points. They can, when they execute, they're really impressive with what they do offensively. And when you look at that offensive line, somebody's protecting that quarterback for all those yards and blocking and making those holes for their tailbacks to rush for 7 or 8 yards a carry. So that's the thing when you talk about this team. They are putting up some huge numbers offensively and really doing a nice job, and it'll be a good challenge for our defense. I think the difference between this team and some of the others that we've played is just the way they handle pressure and the poise the quarterback handles himself with, and that he is a 4-year starter. He's seen a lot of football. He's seen a lot of different things come at him, and this will be his last home game there, so I'm sure that he's going to feel like he needs to put on quite a show, and we will get ODU's best shot, especially from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, when you look at them, they're very solid in what they do. They're very fundamentally sound. They're very well coached. They're not real high risk. They will do quite a bit of movement and blitzing, but they're not a big man coverage team, which is some of what we've been seeing the last couple weeks. Much more zone, keep the ball in front of them, make you earn it, and make you drive the field, because they know their offense is going to put up a lot of numbers. And then from a special team standpoint, Vaughn, who's leading the league in receiving yards, is also, he's leading the league, I believe, at 11 yards a punt return. I think he would be ranked in the top 20 if he were eligible to be ranked. But with them in the transition as a transition school, he's not able to be ranked. But I think he is very, very talented, and it'll be, like I said, it'll be a challenge. We've got to focus on the process, and this process is about us. It's about our focus and what we got to get done this week, the way we prepare, the way we watch film, the way we get ready for this game, making sure that we can go on the road and play a very emotional game against a very good football team. So one of the challenges we're really excited about, and glad that we had an opportunity to have an open date and get some guys healthy. I know they had an open date as well, so we're both going to be coming into this with a little bit of rest behind us. And I think it's the team that can probably knock off the rust from the open date the quickest and get into this game that's going to have the hand up in this football game. So great respect for Coach Wilder and this football team and what we're going up against this week. Right. Well, I mean, we play, it's a 1 o'clock game out there, so 12 o'clock our time. So we're practicing we're doing our meetings, kind of getting them up, having breakfast in the morning. The same time we're going to have pregame on that Saturday. Once we get out to Virginia, having our meetings in the morning, and then being able to go out and practice pretty much from noon to 2 to get up on the grass and get the work done. So, I mean, it is a very unique opportunity because of there's being no school in session, but I think it'll help us get our calendars and our body clocks and all that together. And when we go to Virginia, we'll just stay on the same time zone that we're in here. Even though we'll change time zones, we'll do everything off our time zones that we have here in this region. So it is a unique opportunity, but it's something that I think for our players, I think they like coming in and getting it done. As we told them, then when they're done, they can eat lunch and watch some film and do some of that before they can get out of here and go get some things done that they need to get done from a personal standpoint during the course of the day. Well, and we had our big picture meeting on Sunday where we had that and talked about everything that would kind of play out. And we talked about it on Sunday, and they know what's at stake. They know the elephant in the room this week. But as I told them, what we've got to focus on right now is not the end result. We got to focus on the process, because that's the only way we're going to get the end result we want. And we can't focus so much on the result of the game. We got to focus on what I got to do on this play against this formation and this call, who I got to focus on. And the way you win a football game is trying to win it one play at a time. And that's what we got to make sure that we stay focused on. Don't lose sight and don't get caught in the big picture race, because that's a lot of times how you lose your focus and you end up slipping up and you end up losing a football game. And so what we've got to make sure that we do is we just got to make sure we stay focused on the task at hand, which is to do my job, grade a winner on a given play.
Coach, obviously during the bye week, you physically needed to heal. Mentally, what approach did you take? Did you let them decompress? What did you do to keep them sharp? How did you approach the mental?
We went after it pretty good at practice. We did a lot of pass scale and things like that. We didn't do a lot of hitting, but tried to do a lot of pass scale against each other, a lot of high tempo with what we did offensively, not letting anything drag, making sure that everybody stayed sharp, and a lot of competitive things with the offense and the defense and the passing game. And the one thing about these guys, they're competitive, and I've talked all year how they've answered every challenge that we've given them and tried to be real honest with them, and going in on Sunday and going, okay, here it is. This is what we saw. These are the pros, these are the cons, this is what we got to do with this week. These are the challenges. If we want to win, this is what we got to get done. And I think every team is different, but this team has really handled that challenge from a really mature standpoint, which is why I've spoken so highly of the leadership of this team. So going into that week, we talked about these are the challenges and the things we got to do, and you could hear them on the sideline, the Xavier Woodses, the Houston Bates, the Cody Sokels, and just golly, when you talked about the spirit and the emotion at practice right now, we had it all last week, and this is a real testament to these players. You don't need to pull teeth to get these guys to go to work. They understand that what's at stake. They know what we're going out there to get done, and they go out there with a purpose. So really pleased with the leadership, but I think they're the ones that are going to keep us focused and sharp.
Despite the number of time he has as it relates to their offense, too, I think you give many ideas 2 weeks to prepare for these guys, and as high rated as your secondary, you got to feel pretty good about it.
Well, we do know the challenge. I mean, and I think Coach Diaz will be the first one to tell you that this team is a little different than some of the others that we've tried to prepare for because of the experience and the seasoned veteran that they have at quarterback. And it'll be a little bit of a chess match early, I'm sure, as the pawns start getting moved around on different places on both sides of the ball and the game plans that are being put together to attack each other. But I think the world, I've spoken of this numerous times, I think the world of Manny Diaz, the mind that he has and the job that he does in a preparation in a game week. And I don't have any doubt in my mind that as a football team we'll be prepared going into this football game. But I do know that we're playing a really good team, and this isn't going to be a game that, you're not going to win it 7-3. I mean, this is a team that if you're going to win it, you got to try and outscore them. And I think we've got to take that approach offensively, because it's not just going to be a defensive challenge. Just like when we went into Western Kentucky, it was a challenge that our defense had, but also for our offense, that we've got to take the approach that we're going to try and go in and we're going to try and outscore them. And so I think the challenge falls on the team more than it does just the defense, but I do like the way that the defense is kind of coming in, the way that they're growing up right now and really maturing under Coach Diaz's leadership.
Coach, I know Birmingham wasn't exactly a hostile environment, but with this, I didn't realize they won straight sellouts.
40, great environment. When you look at the Norfolk area, I've got a lot of relatives that were in the military and lived in that area, lived in that region, and know all about the Virginia Beach, Norfolk, that whole area. Really a beautiful area, a highly populated area, an area that was recruited, well known for many of the great recruits that have come out there and gone to Virginia and to Virginia Tech and even NC State and North Carolina, and some of the great talent that's come out of that region. And when they decided to play football in 2007, everybody thought, wow, what a great opportunity this is going to be. And they go in their first year and they go 9-2. They go 9-2 in 2009, and Bobby Wilder's been their only football coach. And to take them to a 9-2 record, and they've just kind of rode that wave of momentum and excitement and enthusiasm of here's the program, and now we're building the stadium and the facilities, and they win and go 9 games and have the success that they had for 5 years with Coach Wilder as a 1AA program, and then got the invitation to move up. And a big part of that was because they have sold their stadium out for 40 straight games, and this one will be a sellout, and a great attitude and a great electricity and atmosphere. It's a neat place. They've created a really neat environment, and it's been a buzz for a long time. Let's say for the last 5 years, ODU, people have been buzzing about what a great job it is, what a great job they've done there, the electricity, the fan support that they have there, and just the following in the city. I think Conference USA was very wise when they sat down and said, you know what, let's take a look at the big picture, and in our footprint, bring an ODU in, especially on the east with where they are. I think it's a program that really has a chance to make a huge mark over the long haul because of where they are and the facilities they have and the support they have in that area. I think one of the big differences is the experience of the quarterback and the way that he handles pressure with himself. I mean, the way that I think he does an excellent job. He knows the offense in and out. He can get rid of the ball in a hurry. They do a really good job of protecting them. I'll go back to Western Kentucky. We saw some flaws, what we saw in their protection that we felt like we could attack, and I thought Coach Diaz did a really good job and his staff of putting it together and the players executing it. This one's not as you got to decode this one a little bit harder. This one's not as easily read, and so I think it'll be a great challenge for us as a football team. But I think there's definitely differences, and I think their quarterback Taylor is definitely a part of that.